Hey YouTube, welcome back to the new shop. Part of the first thing we need to do to move in here is I got to build a second gantry crane. We don't have to, but it's way easier than moving one gantry crane back and forth on every single trailer load. This new gantry crane is going to be a little bit bigger and heavier duty, and then it's also going to be adjustable height. So what I have here is this is the main base, so the casters are going to attach to this, and then this is a vertical riser. It's going to go up to the I-beam. There will be some diagonals. I don't have those cut yet. So I need to get this welded on, just like that one in the back is. I need to get the casters welded to both of these. The next thing I have to do after that is I have these pieces of 3" by 1/4 wall square tube. They sleeve over this vertical riser. This is how I'm going to get my adjustable height. So these will weld to the I-beam that the chain fall will trolley on. And then I'll have probably 3 different positions in this riser drilled, and then a pin in this. So this will sleeve over that, then I'll have the ability to go higher. The lowest setting will just barely fit through the garage door. I'll be running 375 inches a minute of 030 inner shield wire at 21 volts through the MP210 to do all this welding. I could switch to gas, but that's what the welder's set up to, and it's a really strong weld, so let's get going. So one thing I like to do is building in here, especially in my shop. I know the floor is not level. I've never been in a shop where the floor was perfectly flat or level. And so I have these both lifted up on jack stands. This is 3" square tube, this is 2.5, and so I can level this guy with these jack stands and then bring this guy up, center him, because it's got to be centered up and down and left to right, being that they're different sizes. And I can get all that by adjusting these jacks. And then I just pull a diagonal square from that guy to here. And then I switch sides and pull the square that way. So it's pretty simple. These pipe jacks are really nice for getting stuff like this built. You can get all sorts of twist if you build right on the concrete floor or on a crooked welding table, and so these stands allow me to get rid of any twist or unevenness. I have 4 casters for this gantry crane. 2 are fixed and 2 are locking and rotating. So they lock side to side and rolling, so it should be fairly stable. My other gantry crane, all 4 swivel, and it's always been a constant fight. It's been a headache because as you're pushing it, if you want to roll in one direction, it's always going back and forth like this. With this, each T-post, if you will, or side of the gantry will have 1 solid and 1 swivel. That way it'll always roll somewhat opening direction towards something. It won't be able to go side to side and shift like that. Sometimes it's nice to be able to go side to side when moving stuff. I'll have to jockey this one a little bit when I want to do that. I think this will be a lot better for me. The unpopular thing that's going to happen here is I'm actually going to weld the caster straight to this. I need to be moving stuff today, and I don't want to take the time to put pads on. So when all 4 of these fail, or one of them fails, I'll cut them all off and I'll weld pads on so that they bolt on later, and then you guys will like it a lot more then. Until then, I'm just going to hard weld these on. So I'm going to weld a caster here, a fix there, put that leg on, and do the exact same on that. And then once that's done, I can throw that I-beam up here, weld my supports on it, and I'm ready to just drop this whole thing together. So this is, honestly, if you include the cut time, this is probably a 3-hour build. There's probably $1,500 worth of parts here.
I want to take a picture of you doing that. That would.
Oh yeah?
Do you want me to?
I really like that. Wow. Yeah.
I like your.
I get it, but I think from my
yeah, but like profile picture like this, like on your Instagram or this would be cool. And like I wanted to get one standing you in the door, just like a portrait of you
right now.
Yeah, so okay.
I got the risers welded on the I-beam. I used the climb level again, leveled here at both directions, because I don't have my squares moved here yet, so I just used the level to get that set up. I did find that, and maybe you can see here, the I-beam has just a slight twist in it, but there's enough play that once it's on the legs it'll be fine. But if you see the difference in that side to this side, it's about 1.3 degrees out. I know that it's in the I-beam because this and this are 90 degrees, and this side's the same. That and that are 90 degrees. But if I put the level here and then move it to the opposite side of the I-beam, it's about 1.3 degrees out. As I was welding the legs, which I didn't catch on camera unfortunately, there's quite a bit of wobble in this that once it's sitting upright, no one will ever know. I didn't forget to put this on. Not that it'd be the end of the world if I did, but I don't have to at least take it apart. At this point, we need to get the gussets cut out. I have this piece of scrap right here. I have no idea what I cut those chunks out for. Pretty cool looking, but I can just finish cutting right there and right there, and that's a perfect gusset. And I happen to have the HYPERTHERM POWERMAX 30 Air here, so I'm gonna get it plugged in and we'll cut those out real quick. I don't believe I've used this plasma cutter on the channel yet, but this is the HYPERTHERM POWERMAX 30 Air. It's a dual voltage plasma cutter. It has its own built-in air compressor, so you don't need an air supply. That does diminish the duty cycle and the thickness that it can cut. It changes the consumables. This is the first plasma cutter I bought. I pretty much always just run this one maxed out because it's not very powerful, so I run it at 30 amps. 30 amps on this is not the same as 30 amps on the 45. The 30 XP and the 45 XP actually cut a little bit thicker per amp than this one does because they have more air supply and different consumables. But this one's great to take and run off a generator and be portable, and that's the reason I ultimately bought it, was its ability to be portable and flexible. You could run it off of a wall outlet. I have actually cut a bunch of 10 gauge running that off of a 120 wall outlet. Low duty cycle, I mean, it's like a minute and a half cut time and then you gotta let it sit for 8 minutes or so. But anyways, it should hack through this 1/4 inch plate decently. It won't be great, but it will cut through it, so let's do it. I actually cut a little smoother than I was expecting. My hand was a little shakier on that one, but we can go ahead and just hack these corners off the plasma cutter as well real quick so it fits up against that weld. Got the space cleaned up pretty good. I'm gonna wheel the legs over and try to roll them into the slide, and then I'm actually gonna tack weld them so it can't slide apart, and I'm gonna use the chain hoist off the truss to stand this up. Hopefully that works. Thinking rather than the rafters, I might use my A-frame ladder to stand this up. But if it's gonna work, it has to be at least 10'8" tall on the inside. So let's get that ladder out and see how tall it is. This ladder claims to be 15 foot tall is its highest A-frame height. So, let's see, it's probably going to be easier to walk it up over the top of that. Don't do this at home. This is another one of my dumb ideas. I will tell you though, I built a swing set and it's 12 foot tall out of the ground, and it went into the ground about 6.5 feet. And we erected that swing set with this same ladder. I'm not saying it's smart, I'm just saying you can. I might be close enough that I'll just make it work. Assuming I can figure out where I set the measuring tape down. Did you guys see it? 10 foot 8 on the dot, which technically isn't quite tall enough because I got to be able to fit the head of the chain hoist in there, but I think I can make it work with a little poor judgment with my back as well as this lifting. So let's see what we can do. I'm just now realizing that the chain on this chain fall is pretty short. Okay, that's as high as it can go. This is where it might be jumpy. If I run and scream like a little girl, don't judge me too much. Shoot, son, that wasn't too bad. Not as bad as I was expecting, at least. Hopefully I'm not exceeding the weight limit of the ladder. It's going to take a little getting used to how this one drives. It rolls so much smoother than the other one does. I like that I can get that side to move without walking over there. Like I said, it's going to take some getting used to having two non-swivel axles or casters, which technically I guess are not casters if they don't swivel. I'm getting to where I can kind of predict how that side's going to move. This is a huge prerequisite to get my welding table brought in here. I have to have a way to lift it off the trailer and onto the ground and get it in position. I also like this one has a trolley, the other gantry is just hanging by a chain in the center. So this is rated to 2,000 pounds. I know that says 1,000, but it can do 2,000, I promise you. Don't tell anybody, but my welding table's heavier than that. The hook reaches the ground. The one thing that does suck is I just still don't have a driveway. So this thing is stuck in here until I get a driveway. So I'm gonna be working around it. But I think I can put it up against a wall with toolboxes or something under it, and it won't be too much in the way. I'll probably trip on it a few times though. But there's the gantry at we'll call it 75%. I still want to hang some horseshoe hooks on each side so I can hang chains on it. I also kind of want to hang a box on one of the legs to put chains and different things, the double hook in there. But at any rate, this is probably as far as it's going to get for the short term. And as I get big stuff moved in here, I'll make modifications that I want. And then as different projects come in, I need different things out of it, I'll add the adjustable height, because right now I can raise each side about 2 feet. It'll barely fit through my door like this. It'll clear my door. Actually, right now it won't clear my door. I have to adjust my springs half a turn. My door is 1 inch lower than this is sitting at right now. But the day my door was installed, it sat 1 inch higher, so I need to snug my springs up a little bit. But thanks for watching.